Welcome back to Legends in the Making. I'm Erin Sarles Bowers, strategist, shamanic mentor, and founder of the legendary leadership alignment method and co-founder of Blueprint to Blue Chip. This episode is for leaders, parents, and visionaries who have built a lot, but are quietly asking themselves, why does this still feel heavy? We're dismantling the lie that hustle builds legacy and offering a new standard, elegance over exhaustion and alignment over effort. Pardon me, I'm still getting over a cold. So let's talk about how we lead and why the old model has died. And I really love this topic because it's ultimately, I think, one most of us can speak to. I can look back in my career and realized that all the efforts, everything that I wasn't doing just wasn't enough. I mean, I can distinctively remember one of the organizations I worked for felt very respected, highly acclaimed, but I was doing like 3 or 4 people's jobs, and it always felt like it wasn't enough. And I was also associating all that hustle with success, but I was so busy. It was like a distraction tactic to me. I wasn't focused on myself at all. I wasn't thinking about who I was as a person, where my life is at, where I am supposed to be going. I was just constantly overriding that. And in all reality, was pretty frustrated, because I wasn't paying attention to where I was truly at. And you also I think corporate America can deal with very superficial environments. No one's really looking out for your best interest except for you. And oftentimes, most people aren't thinking about how to cultivate and create an incredible workplace that activates people to step into the full expression of themselves and to make sure that they are taking care of mind, body, and soul. And so it was the point in my life where I think everything started to kind of crumble and fall away, where I just kept saying to myself, this cannot be it. This cannot be it. This cannot be how life is meant to be led. And I remember, that was kind of the beginning of my spiritual awakening, my journey, and understanding that we have to connect ourselves back to the essence of who we are. Ultimately, we are our souls. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And I was finding it very difficult to reconcile what I was learning and how that fit in to the workplace. It felt like almost 2 different worlds. It was like I'm trying to break free and step into the essence of who I truly am, still getting pulled back into this reality that I just no longer prescribe to. And that's when I think kind of the deep calling really started for me, especially with legendary leadership alignment method, was you have to create work environments where people are seen and are treated as whole people, and that their gifts, talents, all their magic gets to be brought into play. So oftentimes in most workspaces, they want you to just bring enough to service them. And that's really sad because that's a very transactional relationship. That's a relationship of taking and keeping. And we are here to be in relationship and to give of ourselves in order to receive. So for all the corporations out there, how often have you thought about what am I truly giving? What am I giving to the employees that work here? And I'm not talking about benefits. What energetically am I giving to them so that I can receive back their full potential? Do I give them the opportunity to have a voice and to listen and to not shut them down or close them off or not want to hear what they have to say? Think about, what are you truly giving people that matter? Do you have so many rules? I'm going to give you a bunch of rules so that you can follow along and you can toe the line and keep yourself in check, because we don't trust you to make decisions as a whole, resourceful human. We've got to tell you exactly what to do. Here's the days you have to work. Here's the days you can take off. Think about that. Like, how low vibrational is that? And then I work with these organizations and they wonder why their profits are down. Well, look what you energetically are putting out. You're actually in a wrong relationship with the universe because you're trying to take and keep from people for your own good, versus we're here to truly serve the world. We're here to truly gift what we are so talented and good in. And we want to do that in a way that people feel amazing about. So, think about where we are at and what is being asked for us to transition. What are you seeking? I do a lot of consultant work, and people don't necessarily want to get paid more. They want to be valued more. They want all their tools, gifts, all of that to be brought and allowed within the workplace. They want somebody to go, gosh, I never thought of that idea for the customer. Thank you for sharing that. Do you ever ask yourself, like, why are we so defensive to frontline employees' feedback? That's a little odd. They're the ones closest to the customer. They're interacting with your customer, and yet we don't want to hear what they have to say. Think about how that is not serving you and how you're not serving your employees because you don't want to listen to them. So there is a huge shift that's occurring. We're seeing it in our world. There's a trust recession. People don't trust most places because everything is transactional. People are taking and keeping. You're not in the right relationship of giving and receiving. If every organization focused on all the good they could give the world and every good thing that they could do that would make this planet a better place, I guarantee your profits would be, you wouldn't even know what to do with all the money because you would just be in service to the world. But your profits ebb and flow, dip, you lose hundreds, millions, billions of dollars because that's the universe's way of correcting you of being in wrong relationship with it. So this is an energetic game. There's a energetic undertone and underlaying in every one of our organizations, everywhere. Every organization has its own blueprint and energy that they're supposed to be providing into the world. But if you're not using that energy properly, you're not reaping the benefits that the universe wants to give you. So the work that I do is, how do you reframe and actually get into your highest state of being so that you can be in service to the world, that you can give to the world and then receive all that the world wants to give back to you. It's about stepping into the authentic version of you as a leader and then looking at how that transforms every other leader around you and how can you transform the culture around you. So guess what? Your energetic presence is the new power. Being very clear about who you are and how you show up and being in a mode of giving and alignment and clarity, that's the new flex. That's it. Like when people look at business today and wonder, like, why is this going on? What this is going on within organizations because we're being asked to correct ourselves back to the natural universal principles that govern the way that we work. So, how the leadership alignment method fixes this is it's really about a recalibration of your identity and energy. So we want to look at what are all the distortions in your energy currently right now. Where are you at? And then aligning back to what is the truth of where you want to be. And then it's how do you take that once you do that as a leader and start to do that with your team and your culture. And then you start to take that into how you start to scale because you're in alignment and everybody working with you is in alignment. And then you start to cement your legacy, but you're cementing your legacy because you've activated yourself into service and you've activated your people into the same opportunity for them to truly be served. One of my clients said, I didn't need another business coach. I needed to be led back to myself. That's the work. You don't need to have somebody tell you what to do. You need to look within yourself and find out what's intrinsically blocking you, what's subconsciously blocking you from taking the right action that you know that you need to be taking in order to build the legacy that you want to build. This is a subconscious game. This is getting into the mycelium network, the layer underneath the soil that's the pure magic, the transmuting all the nutrients within the earth and fixing that. So oftentimes we're just trimming the shrubbery at the top, but it's like we've got to look at what's below the ground. You know, everything that we do is a seed that we're sowing. What is the type of ground that seed is in? How is that seed being fertilized? You know, if I sow that seed with doubt, I cannot expect for it to grow and be fruitful. So we have to look at where we're at and how then we're showing up. Because when all the work that all of us have to do to solve any problem anywhere in the world is internally within us. And there's no one way to do it. The magic comes in to figuring out what's your unique blueprint, how do you tune into that, and how do you activate that and become very bold in who you are because that's who you were born to be. That's the work that we have to do. Not here's a marketing plan, here's all the tactics, here's all that. No, who are you? Why did God put you here? And am I out serving the world with the unique gift God brought me here to use? That's the work you have to do. And very few corporate coaches are doing that work. Consultants, it's like, here's all the other tactics. Yeah, you can look at like surface level things, but until you addressed the energetic undertones within your organization, you're going to keep coming back to the same spot. It doesn't matter what branch you trim off to make look good. It's like until you address the underlying, the true deep root cause, the subconscious energetic root cause of every individual within that organization, you are going nowhere. And it starts at the top with you as the CEO, trickles down to your next level of leaders, trickles down to your next level of leaders, and so on and so forth. And that is the work that I brought here to do, to transform organizations where they become centers of unleashed human potential and not mundane robotic factories where people show up and collect a paycheck. but you unlock and unleash the human potential that every employee that chooses to work for you gets activated within them. That's your job as an employer. It's far greater than we make coffee, we make mugs, we do this. You are creating an opportunity to unleash the human potential. If you have the right leaders, you do the right work, and you create cultures that ultimately that's their only foundational purpose. So I'd be curious, like, where are you leading from noise? Where are you leading when you're not in rhythm? I would love to hear from each and every one of you. Who else has felt like I felt? Who else has been there and is like, why am I doing this? I'm getting up and going through the motions, but I don't even know I'm going through the motions. And then all I do is when I'm done, I bitch and complain about what went on. Well, nothing good is going to come of any of that. So I'd love for you to DM me the word power. It's a personal invite into a 5 days executive realignment challenge that I have. It's customized to you. It's 5 days. And the good news is all I ask is that you make a donation to my favorite nonprofit. So I want to help you step back into your power so that you can teach others how to step back into their power. And we start to create a better world by starting to put our own oxygen masks on ourselves. So thank you for tuning in into Legends in the Making. If this hit home, it's not a coincidence. You were not created to suffer through your purpose. You were created to be fueled by it. Let's build a kind of leadership that leaves people better, not burned out. And remember, you don't need to do more. You just need to be aligned.